Hello, this is Thinking Box, and we provide solutions to businesses, helping them grow. And today we have CEO Tausif Abdul with me. I'm Brahma. And so, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much. The weather's getting better.
Yeah, the weather is getting better. Let's talk about remote work. And we know that after COVID, things have been changing, and it has actually affected our personal operations as well, and taking into corporate world as well. It's totally changed, and by after COVID, 44% in businesses in the UK, they have just shifted towards remote work, and that's a huge percentage. And Thinking Box also started after COVID. So, and let's talk about in Pakistan, there is this company, if we talk about S&P, you would know about it, right? It's a big company, and it is actually operating, and it is hiring people on a massive level, and they are all doing remote work. And that is good for people over here that, okay, we're happy getting great salaries, working from home. They have this hybrid model as well. What do you think? Have you worked remotely before?
So in my previous role, I used to work from home on a Monday, and my wife would always then try and get me to pick up the children from school or go get tomatoes from the shop or whatever. And I always found that it wasn't very, I couldn't do it all the time. No way could I do 5 days working from home. It seems very isolated, and it seems very lonely as well. And I don't think you have that same level of productivity that you do when you can just get everyone around the table and you can just, brainstorm, or there's certain things you just can't do online. And I'm not a fan of working from home or remote working because I feel that a culture or development, and even just, to keep someone's sanity, you need to leave the house. If I imagine waking up in the morning and sitting at my desk at home from 9 o'clock, and even if I'm going to work till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then turning my laptop off and then being at home, it just seems very boring. There's nothing really to look forward to. So I'm not a fan of working from home, but yeah, I've only done Mondays working from home. I did that for about 2-3 years. But
so you're not even a fan of hybrid model too?
I think hybrid model, look, the thing is after COVID, a lot of organizations have moved to remote working, and they've seen the benefits, because what they don't have to do is they don't have to service an office. Their bills will drop ridiculously. Yes. Because the electricity cost or the gas heating cost is now on the individual as opposed to being on the company. And I think parking and all these other factors of going to a place of work, all these factors are eradicated then. And I think for some businesses it works really, really well. Now, we obviously are an outsourcing HR company, and we can't be that against outsourcing or remote working, because that's what we offer. And our clients, they see a real benefit from that. However, our employees, they don't see remote working, because ultimately they have to come into work every morning. Yes. And they're here all day. So what we've got, and what everyone benefits from on a day-to-day basis of socializing and just having a little chit-chat, and the office politics and whatever that might be, it adds to the fun of going to work. Yeah. And I think that we've got to understand, it's part of human psyche. You've got to go in somewhere, and you've got to see something, and I can't remember which chemical receptor it is in your brain that gets activated when somebody just says well done, just a level of appreciation. Yeah. And I always find I can appreciate something a lot better when I'm doing it face to face than I would do on the phone. And I think this is the thing, remote working for some organizations is brilliant, and for some organizations, I think outsourcing overseas is a really, really good solution, because what you also get then is you get the cost savings. Rather than hiring locally, where somebody might cost you £2,000, £3,000, £4,000, you could do that for half the price overseas. And that's the benefit that a company can realize.
Yes, and there is just two things. First is that outsourced company, all right, for clients abroad, there is a cost reduction. But why didn't you think like that? Because again, the Thinking Box, we have been in business since 2 years almost now. Didn't you think like it is going to reduce your cost for setting up an office where you could already manage that remotely? Because you have an experience as a manager.
So I think the cost savings one element of it, and I think that's really important for SMEs, so small to medium enterprises who might not be able to hire a team of say 3 people in the UK because it just might be unaffordable for them. And what they can do is for them to grow, if they need to employ 3 people, they can go outsourced, and when they go outsourced, that then becomes affordable for them. So there's certain roles that you can't outsource. If there's a direct face-to-face sales role, you cannot outsource that. If there's a manufacturing role, you can't outsource that. If you're creating a physical product, you can't outsource that. But meanwhile, we've got so many different remote work, which is say administration, caseworking, any creative roles, they can 100% be outsourced, and a company can realize the benefit of that. But then more importantly, they'll end up getting a better person. And that's the thing that is non-tangible. You know, you can, if somebody's going to spend 2,500 for a UK hire, and that same hire will cost them £1,000 here, there's £1,500 physical saving there. But I think and hiring people who overseas might have a degree, will probably have a master's, will be really clever and be really good at a specific skill. That's the untangible benefit that you'll get by hiring overseas, I feel anyway.
Yeah. And I think you said that people who are working in UK at this, I mean, in Pakistan, you can get people who have done bachelor's or master's, and they also have experience globally as well for, let's say, that team in for BR. I mean, one is who has experience from Dubai. There's one psychologist over there, a software engineer over there. And as compared to UK, they're just metric pass or grade 10 pass like that.
Yeah.
So it's like you're getting more skilled talent over here. That's good. Coming back to overseas, this remote work, I was actually thinking this thing that for me, let's say that obviously people have their own, I mean, people, they want to save themselves from hassle. And for me, it was, I mean, if I want to get a job in some place and I would totally want to work in a remote place, okay, I can work from home and everything. But I just remember today that actually it was natural for me not to get a job in a position which was remote. Else, I mean, although I used to really think about that, okay, I want a remote job that's the most beneficial for me. I cannot travel from Bahria town to Rawalpindi to Islamabad. I mean, that's quite far, and but it was natural, right? Because I mean, there was this internship that I started, and I mean, even the manager who used to manage you, he wasn't like waking up or actually being serious about it. So there's this natural component of that, you know, you cannot really make it productive. And then eventually I had to leave it until I joined Thinking Box. And totally I get this idea of like why working on site is so much important. And we do say like that, you know, working from home, for example, when we hired marketing team, and they I think traditionally they all work from remotely. And it was a hassle for us, if you remember that, and especially SEO and everything, digital marketing specialist. And we had to get it, but we were stick to it that, okay, we need a team on site, in-house.
I think you're right. You know, at the beginning when we started in 2020, it was still kind of COVID was going on. There was still plenty of remote work available, and it was really difficult for us to hire some of the creative roles because they were used to working from home, and they probably worked from the bed, probably, you know, just got up, washed their face and sat down on their laptop and started work. But you can't do that when you're going to physically come into an office. You've literally got to get ready. You've got to have your breakfast. You've got to drive into work. You've then got to say hello, hi, and you've got to have that chit chat. But it's that whole interpersonal skills that then gets developed. Yeah. Working from home, working on, say, I don't know, an SEO project or a social media campaign or anything, who are you really going to talk to? It's a very lonely life, and I don't imagine people can do it for that much longer. Don't get me wrong, there might be somebody out there that's working remotely and they might do 2 hours a day. For them, it suits them. But if you're going to work a 8-9 hour shift, then I feel for your own sanity and your own mental health, it's more important to get out into the workplace and work with a team and, you know, have the whole job situation and you know, fulfill it that way, really. So one of the things we've got happening this Saturday, we're going for a picnic. Yeah. So on Saturday, the whole team's going to go out and we're going to have a picnic. We're going to enjoy the weather. We'll have some food and we'll play with some ball games and we'll just have some general fun.
Well, let's talk about the blog thing, right? This blog competition.
Yeah.
Like anyone who is going to win is going to go out with you, have lunch and everything. And there's this remote employee, Sabahat. I mean, even if she wins that, where is she going to go?
Yeah, where's she going to go?
Yeah.
And my point was going to be around, we're going to go out for a picnic on Saturday.
Yeah.
The only reason why you're comfortable going and I'm comfortable going is because we all see each other on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Now imagine if we were all working remotely and we were just having,
awkward,
you know, one call a day and it's on Microsoft Teams and that's the only interaction you've had, and we then say Saturday picnic in Islamabad. How many people are really going to turn up?
No one.
No one's
And
going
just
to
imagine the social life they would have.
Yeah.
This is the thing. And yeah. I wonder that what would be people's mental health when they work remotely for a longer time or even for a year. I think it would be depressing. I asked Abdul Samad because he used to work remotely and he said that it got depressing and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is what I think, because that's totally different. I mean, you are right that, I mean, daily whenever I wake up, I'm like, okay, I have to go to office. I just dress up and you just feel that. You feel that energy and you want to work, and especially in a culture which gives you a purpose to work and you have things to do. And when you get home and like, okay, I have work, and then, you know, you're at peace. So yeah.
Okay. So Rahma, obviously you're currently studying your ACCA.
Yeah.
How are you getting on with that?
Going good.
Going good.
So, yeah.
And how many exams have you got left to do?
Two, yeah.
So then you will be a fully qualified ACCA accountant.
Yeah. I would like to say chartered accountant because it has more impact saying that.
A fully qualified ACCA chartered accountant.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to be a good achievement, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the other thing is obviously you're a very talented individual. That's why you work here. But you know, even if we go through the team, how many people have we got here who've got a master's, got an MBA? You know, there's so many. It's unbelievable. And every single person we've hired is minimum BA honors.
Yes.
You know, so that's an achievement in itself. And I don't think you could have that in a place like the UK.
Right.
Not everyone's going to be studied at that level. I think what we've got there is, if you were going to go for a hire of, say, an administrator or a salesperson or anything along them lines, then more than likely you're probably just going to get somebody who's done their GCSEs or done their A-levels and that's it. They've just entered the work market. And this is why I always say, your hire in Pakistan is a more clever hire.
Yeah.
It's clever for the owner or the business owner because they've saved themselves money, but it's also clever because they've picked up somebody who's more capable and more competent, and their growth ceiling's a lot higher as well.
This is the effect of globalization. I think this is every business leader in abroad, the main thing of business is that to reduce your cost, and this is the biggest.
Yeah, payroll's always your biggest cost.
Yeah.
You know, if you can reduce on your payroll, but then meanwhile you can get better quality payroll as well, then that's got to be a winning formula, really.
That's happy days, right?
Yeah, happy days. And I think that's what we're constantly focused on here, is making sure that we give businesses the edge and that they've got this ability to be able to grow, because the outlook across the economy in the UK and the US, it's not a brilliant one at the moment. It's tough times. You know, you've got expensive utility prices, raw materials have gone up, the cost of labour is continuously rising, and meanwhile it's not where it needs to be either. So it still needs to rise even further for people to be able to afford to run their houses. And I think this is the thing. What we do is we offer a solution that is much cheaper, and we also offer a solution that's going to provide you with a better workforce as well. And looking after them and making sure that they get paid and that they're happy and that their punctuality and their attendance is tracked and personal development plans, that's our job.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. That's not for the client to worry about. And all the client needs to worry about is what's the work, what's important to grow the business, and to make sure that that work gets done to a high standard. That's it. That's all that the client needs to worry about.
Yeah.
And I think we're here in the market, and we're just shy of 2 years now,
Yes.
and we've got a number of clients, and I can't remember the last time when somebody said to me, actually, this is not working.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, all that we end up hearing, it's working really well. We just want to grow the team.
What's the best success story do you have of which business, and how they have taken advantage from us?
The best success story would be you, wouldn't it, Rahma? But
Oh, yeah.
the second best, yeah.
Okay.
So the second best, I think would be our Baker Ain team, and they've moved from they had 2 people here, and now we've just taken on another person. So potentially that's going to take the team up to 5 people. But more importantly, the work that the team are doing is, at the beginning it was a very simple data processing exercise, and now they're managing that process from start to finish. So what that's allowing the UK team to do is to close the cases quicker, to have better levels of efficiencies, and ultimately it costs them less as well.
Yeah, it's all about giving exceptional services, and this is what we are about, to give businesses a support, a backbone, and so that the managers or the owners of the business, they don't worry about managing team and everything. They can just focus on their strategies and how to grow their business.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
the other aspects. All right. So I'm just curious to know what made you open Thinking Box, and what is the story of Thinking Box actually?
So Thinking Box, in one shape or another, has been going for a number of years in the UK. And when COVID started and I decided to move to Pakistan with my family, which was a very big decision for us,
Yeah.
and we came here, obviously you have to do something, you can't just sit around. And my opportunity was that I have a very big network of people that I know in the UK. I've worked for a very big organization for 18 years at a very senior level. So I think when I used to work for another company, I used to always think to myself, if I had my own business, I'd do things differently. And I think that's what we've always set out to do here at Thinking Box, is do things differently. Try and reinvent the wheel. And I know that often the saying goes, don't try and reinvent the wheel, but it's about how do we do things in a different way where we can add productivity, we can utilize some great talent from Pakistan, but then also do it in a way where our clients are absolutely seeing the benefit on a day-to-day basis. And that's what my job is here, is to constantly push people to just think smart, work hard, and make sure that we're delivering for our clients.
A smart move is seizing the opportunity at the right time. So it's for people who have started business in the UK, seize this opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think there's so many different businesses we could support. If a business has a role that they could fulfill from a remote worker in the UK, then technically we can do it from here in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And they save money and they pick up a better person.
I think we do have lots of services like administrative, digital marketing, accountings, IT.
Yeah.
I think they all can be done remotely, and they have success stories. Actually, they have successful rates.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still quite small at the moment, but you've already mentioned a couple of companies that are working in Pakistan.
Yeah.
But there's businesses here that are working outsourced for UK clients or US clients, and they've got 200-300 people working in them teams.
Yeah.
So it's working for them, it's working for us. Why can't it work for other clients? Rahma, you've lived in Saudi Arabia for how many years?
For I think 19 years of my life.
19 years of your life.
Yeah.
Born in Saudi Arabia, lived there all your life, very
Yeah.
conservative, Islamic, or you could say the capital of Islam.
All right.
Yeah. So the capital of Islam, the origins of Islam, and then you've obviously moved to Pakistan.
Yeah.
What did you what were the biggest changes for you moving to Pakistan?
Obviously, culture changes, both Islamic and people behave and language and everything. And in Saudi, obviously, you do have this exposure of international people as well. There are different communities, but over here it was like full Pakistani. But you know what? I'm just happy over here. It's not like that. That over here there was this different international people exposure, and over here there is this different ethnicities exposure. So I mean, wherever you are, you have to keep on learning about things, so it's going good. And then actually I was quite busy since from in Pakistan I started my university, started studying, and then when I was an undergraduate, thank you for giving me this opportunity, I started this job, and I was the only one in my class who got this job, being an undergraduate and in last semester. So yeah, it's been going great.
Okay. So we have some political uncertainty at the moment. So in Pakistan, you've moved from Saudi, which has a authoritarian is that what we would call it?
Let's call it kingdom or
kingdom, yeah, or dictatorship. I don't know. You might get in trouble because you're born there, right? But we have a king and who rules the country. Yeah. Whereas here in Pakistan, we live in a democratic society. And
okay, is it?
Yeah, supposedly. And then over the last 18 months, we've had a coalition government of, I think, 13, 14 parties. And then meanwhile, we've had a general election.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we've had a general election and we've ended up back in the same place again. So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I mean, I have no words for that, because I think definitely a government really matters. But what I have actually learned through is that you have to change yourself first. I think when I'm going to change myself and I'll be having this confidence of going out and actually speaking what my thoughts are confidently, then I will be supporting a party or not. I mean, I do have opinions on parties and whatever their main points are. I don't think so that any government just comes and does nothing. It's not like that. It's about you supporting certain points. So at the moment, I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? I'm like, just focus on your life at the moment. Yeah. So I mean, we do have a part to contribute in a society and in a community, definitely. But yeah, I mean, this is something uncontrollable.
So you're not distracted by the current turmoil of the elections?
No.
No, focus on work.
Yeah.
And exams.
Yes.
For your ACCA.
Yes.
Because if not, then you're not going to become a chartered, fully qualified accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
this is a good point for Thinking Box as well, that we are providing services to the UK clients, and people have this notion that, okay, this is Pakistan and what would be the impact of political, I mean, we have this image on an international world, but the reality is it's different. Yes, what do you think? Because you have come from the UK as well.
Yeah, so I think in the UK our elections are a lot more simpler. Yeah. And people come out, vote, and votes get counted, and that's it. Whereas here in Pakistan, it seems very, very complicated. It's my first general election because we've only been here for 3.5 years, and hopefully it won't be the last. And what I've found is a level of chaos has resulted from the elections, and I also feel that there's a right for the international community to make sure that the elections that have happened in Pakistan are as free and fair as possible, because ultimately it's under the flag of democracy, isn't it? We've not got a kingdom here, we don't have a dictator here. Supposedly we have a democratic system.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then, and if that's not being upheld here in Pakistan, then surely there has to be a higher authority, may it be the Western countries or the United Nations. Somebody has to step in and say, hold on, enough.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you're doing this properly. Yeah. Because it's kind of like, I don't know, the same way that the UK or the US picked up football from Europe. They didn't say, no, actually, we're going to allow handballs. And if they would have done that, then I'm sure UEFA or FIFA would have said, hold on a second, that's not how you play football. So if there's something that has been imported from the West and we've got a democracy here, then there needs to be champions of democracy who make sure that it gets fixed and it gets fixed properly. Because if not, if this is not just going to tarnish the reputation of Pakistan, this will tarnish the reputation of democracy. That's my feelings anyway.
Actually, that's right.
Yeah.
And do you think that's actually is the West actually stepping in and...
Well, we've read a few statements from the Australian government and the US.
US as well, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they need to do more. Just a statement alone is not going to cut it, and they've got to do whatever's necessary to make sure that the country gets back on its feet. Because at the moment, it's like a car driving on the motorway and there's nobody sat in the driver's seat.
Yeah, that's true. This is the thing.
And that's
This
a
is the
very
main thing.
dangerous place to be.
So in 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I mean, there has been no result. What the hell is going on?
Yeah. So I think who knows?
Yeah.
I think, like they say, the person asking the question knows as much as the person who's being asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Rahma.
Thank you, sir, for being here, and thank you everyone for listening to us. I hope you find it insightful, and everything has its pros and cons. The question is, just ask yourself, what do you need at the moment? Thank you.